Hello everybody, happy Halloween. Welcome to the latest Hours of ZZT Livestream. Today we are going to play another myth game, somewhat appropriate for the season. This is Nightplanet, an orange Fanta-induced fantasy. I unfortunately do not have an orange Fanta with me. I had hoped I would be able to pull that off, but that didn't happen. This was the winner of the first ever 24 Hours of ZZT contest. Way back in 1998. And now I'm blanking out on the topic. So I have to rapidly look this up. Oh, the topic is night. I knew it wasn't space, that's a different one. Oh, I guess it is trick-or-treat time on, like, the East Coast now. I once again live in an apartment where that won't be a thing. If anybody knocks on our door, they get a go-away cream. That being said, let's take a look at this game. It's spooky and seasonally appropriate. Title screen, not much to it, but the rest of the game actually has some really nice art. And again, 24 Hours of ZZT contest entry here. So this game was made from scratch in one day and in an era without external editors. So anytime getting special colors for graphics is just more time being burned. And it too has title screen music, just like Winter that we played the other day. I wonder if it's an original tune, because again, also made in 1 hour. Or 1 hour. 1 day. 24 hours. Oh, I thought it was about to loop there. It was still going. Never mind. Alright, let's get right to it. Welcome to the ship. It's another dark morning among the stars. A lone cargo cruiser flies through space. Its owner, pilot, and only passenger just waking from his long slumber. He is Mentu Alexandria, a trader of almost no consequence in the galactic scheme, a loner in a time when everyone is alone. And some real Beavis Project energy here. He's very far away from home, years away at his fastest speed. He has delivered his last shipment and now has nowhere to go. In short, he's waiting for adventure. Nightplanet by Myth, made for the July 1998 24 Hours of ZZT competition. Note, this ended up being a puzzle game despite my best efforts. Of course, since it's also a 24 Hours of ZZT entry, it's not beta tested very well. These two game attributes do not go well together, so please feel free to go in and add anything so you can finish the game. You can get a complete walkthrough from me if you need it. Thanks. Console is the main engine control. Mentu built this interface himself and was quite proud of it. I'm glad we're going to hear the name Mentu a few times. Navigation to nowhere. Various controls. It's a fun ship design. Mentu's ship was originally designed for short range only, hence with the later modifications he made, he had to convert one of the cargo bays into living quarters. This room is the result. It is Spartan indeed, but comfort must be sacrificed for profit. This is how we live. All by herself with a bunch of boxes. This is a panel that controls the communication system of the ship. Mentu looks at it curiously, since he sees something that he hasn't seen in a long time. An unidentified transmission. It seems to be coming from a planet in a nearby star system. The signal is too weak at this distance to descramble, or even to locate the exact frequency correctly. Curious, Mentu changes the course of the ship and heads towards the origin of the signal. North to continue the story, or hang around the ship for a while longer, whatever you want. This is your world. Do what you like. And every board in this game is nicely labeled. Welcome to Planet View. After a few hours, the ship comes in range of the planet. Mentu admires its desert-like surface, like an amber gem in distant sunlight. The communicator fine-tunes itself into a frequency in the low radio range. The signal is weak, and though the computer is able to clear up the signal slightly, the words are still barely audible under the white noise. Mentu can hear the following. Mining station cons. Code 17, system failure. Request assistance. Location 66 South, 139.1 East. System Athena, Planet 5, UPR register 0914-2887. Request assistance. Mentu looks up Athena 5 in the UPR database. The following information appears. Athena System Planet 5, Atmosphere Type 3. Oxygen, argon, and water. Gravity Type 3.1 Gs. Equatorial diameter, 14,000 kilometers. Mean distance from star, 212 gigakilometers. And so on and so forth. This is interesting, thinks Mentu. A planet with a breathable atmosphere and an 84.22 degree tilt. With a tilt that far, half of the planet would face the sun all the time, and half would face the stars all the time. A night planet, as they are called in space parlance. But why would a mining station be located in the southern hemisphere of such a planet, where it would be cold night forever? Mentu then searches for cons in the database. After a few moments, he returns an entry from his back file. Cons mining station. Main export, tritactium alloys. Addendum, no response to station communication requests. Even more interestingly, thinks Mentu, tritactium alloy, one of the more rare metals in existence. This night planet must have had quite a load to warrant a station on its dark side. It looks as if the station was abandoned too, almost 100 years ago. Perhaps there's some surplus metal left over that might be salvageable. Mentu thinks about it and realizing that he has nothing better to do, decides to check it out. This will go great. The ship slowly coasts over the cold terrain of Athena 5. Not so far below, Mentu can see the strange rock formations indicative of night planets. Icy spines and columns of stone formed by years of weathering by rime storms. Didn't Winter also use rime for something? And people were commenting on it using that word? The station is a gray spot among these iridescent formations, even more lifeless than the night sky. Mentu locates the landing pad and softly brings the ship in. Yeah, some really nice minimalist art, which is a good thing to have when you only have a day. As Mentu steps out of his ship, he almost chokes on the stale air. Apparently the air processing unit hasn't been working since the station was abandoned. Additionally, the air is cold. Couldn't be more than 5 degrees centigrade in the station. That's better than the minus 150 outside, but still. Looks of the station seem just as ancient and cold as the air. The walls' grounds seem untended and dusty. Their apathetic gray seeming almost haunting. Something went wrong on this station. Something bad. Mentu is sure of that. Mentu is also sure that he wants to get out of here as soon as possible. His objective is just to find a tritactium store and leave. So not as soon as possible. Let's get some money first, and then leave. Got a really nice looking circle. Good place to park your ship. Mentu won't get back into the ship until he's at least checked for tritactium. I haven't really thought about how common or not having a third-person narrative is, but yeah, usually it is very much all eyes rather than theys. This is the west part of the station, and two gets the feeling that there should be some sort of security system in place here, and indeed, there seems to be some sort of security system framework. However, nothing seems to be in operation. It's very clever. Firstly, text is going to be the fastest thing to make for a ZZT game in a day, so that's a good way to add in detail. And then secondly, by having it be an abandoned station, you don't have to put things in it. Another key to victory. As Mentu enters the main area of the station, he is instantly astonished. Dozens of skeletons lie on the floor, each with a look of eternal anguish. The station center, which was once the social and professional hub of the station, now looks like a graveyard. Imagine a skeleton having a look of eternal anguish. And then some garbage text, sure. Bones are completely bare of flesh and glow with a strange violet tinge. One of the skeleton's arms is stretched towards the exit. Okay, so that's our basic description of these skeletons. There seems to be a lounge area of some sort. There are 3 sofas surrounding a steel table, all covered with a fine violet dust. On the table is a thick document in a disheveled stack. Now it's a horror game. We found a file. This document is headed Report from Dr. Dundin on unidentified life form in Tritactinium mines. It is 12/25/2135. Mentu skims the document. It was previously thought that no life form can survive in the southern hemisphere of a night planet due to the extreme cold temperatures and extreme wind speeds. The life form recently discovered in the Tritactinium mines seems to contradict this theory. The creatures visually resembled insects of some sort. However, their internal structure is very different from the insects we are familiar with. Specifically, they seem to have no organs for the collection, digestion, or excretion of food. Instead, there are chlorophyll-like cells that seem to feed on energy of any sort. Given enough energy and carbon material, the creatures seem to be able to metabolize and reproduce at astonishing rates. Though, as previously mentioned, the creature creates no excretia. They do produce a fine violet dust. As of yet, I am unsure of the origin of this phenomenon. I am no expert on evolutionary biology, but I would expect that these animals, or plants as the case may be, they seem to defy definition in this regard, may be the remnants of a species that existed long ago, before the planet had been turned on its side by an asteroid impact, as is our current theory regarding the axis position of this planet. Perhaps they were able to survive in a dormant state in the planet's crust. Also, yes, I think the violet dust is space bug poop. In conclusion, I see no threat from these creatures as long as they are kept in the dark, as it were. Without energy, they are harmless. Mentu rubs his chin thoughtfully. This is chamber 4, high voltage area, not at the moment. And a white door. Access port 7, system. Northern arm of the station is devoted to systems control and mine observation. There are 4 rather large banks of computer consoles in the room and 1 view screen in the center. None of the consoles are currently in operation. Mentu guesses that the computer power in the station is off. So, unsurprisingly, we need to get some power going. We can push a button on the power control console. Mentu pushes the button, nothing seems to happen for a while, but in about 30 seconds, Mentu can hear the power in the station restarting. The control consoles in the room then begin to whir back to life. Nice. This control panel is labeled Communications Control. There's a small switch which is labeled Auto Transmit. Let's flip this off. Nobody else comes to our horrible planet. Security. 3 useful functions. Bulkhead control, crew quarters listing, and crew quarters door released. Okay, so the bulkheads. Sure, why not? Lift the bulkheads. Crew quarters listing. Engineers. Berkeley, Bishop, Stockton. St. John, Page, Byard, and Grants, and Fillmore, and Ogden, and Jens, Lamar, and Fowler, and Silverton, and Florence, and Snyder, and Cisco, Columbus, and Bryan. Pratt, and Newton, and Duncan, and Ada, and Mansfield, and Monroe, and Hastings, and Holland, and London, and Bismarck, and Dundon, and Karlovac. What a rowdy bunch. Door release is restricted. We do not have an access code. And now we can read about the mines. Drill off. System standby. Conditions safe. Radiation safe. Node 2. Drill off. System standby. Conditions safe. Radiation low. And lastly, diagram of the station. I was hoping it would give me a map here in some form, but I guess not. Skeletons. Data archives. This terminal accesses the record archive of the station. Curious of what happened here, Mentu sits down, figures out the interface. After a few minutes of learning, he's able to access records satisfactorily. Begins his reading at 900.2135. Had to turn off main station power today. The creatures have invaded L main power systems. Lieutenant Bismarck and I agree that it was for the best of L Station. The creature's hunger for energy. Okay, I guess it's just lapsing language. Hunger for energy has only increased. Eldar says, K, this is possibly due to increased numbers. Have sent out distress signal, though there seems little hope, K, these will be answered. Creatures have invaded security control system. Power in station is running out quickly. Doctor suggests we turn off life support for a period to conserve energy. Lieutenant concurs with Doctor. I've shut down mining controls as well. Still no response to distress signal. The Doctor may have a solution to problem. Thank you for your translations. Heat in station is lowering. Cannot maintain sufficient heat for entire station. Have grouped all hands in quarters, have shut down all other systems, but creatures still seem to multiply. May have to shut down record system as well. The Doctor's solution will not work because we do not have an escape vehicle or time to move Tritactinum. Creatures have invaded quarters. 10 hands die, energy almost completely depleted. Many other hands die in attempt to escape. The Doctor died in quarters. Lieutenant died in mines. I do not know if there are any other survivors. I've locked myself in records room and turned on security seal and diverted remaining heat to records room. Records end here. So that's what happened to the station. These creatures were dormant in the ground until the miners woke them up. You done dug too deep. But then why is the station suddenly working again? Maybe because the creatures ran out of energy and carbon to consume. Until I came. There has to be some way to solve this problem. Commander mentioned that the Doctor had a plan. Maybe he had it written down somewhere. So, that's probably not good. We should probably leave. Mentu opens the door to his ship and tries to lift off from the station. However, the controls to his engine system don't seem to work. On closer examination, all power from the engine system seems to be being sucked away by some unknown sink. Mentu gets worried. He now has no way off the station. Okay, let's see. Can we do anything in the quarters? I know we couldn't open the doors. Southern part of the station is apparently the crew quarters. Here the musty smell is even worse. Mentu, being slightly claustrophobic, is reluctant to turn down the dark hallways. Good crewman, skeleton, lots of locked doors. Party going on in here. The door is locked. On the door, Mentu can see a strange word inscribed. Dust has made it almost unreadable, but he can make out a few scratches. Anubis. Mentu thinks, why would the name of the Egyptian god of the underworld be inscribed on the door? And then this one... also nothing, but it's got something in there. The eastern part of the station is where the actual mining went on. There are two nodes, node 1 on the south and 2 on the north. Apparently the station has had some success, as there are already blocks of tritactinum ore sitting around, waiting for export. That seems good. Other than all the bodies. Sure, let's just grab some more, why not? Only one ore at a time. Mining equipment. Big old drill. And we don't have any torches. Maybe there's torches in the other one, I don't know. Were we not supposed to be able to go in there? It was telling me that I didn't want to go in there when I touched the thing to the south, but it let me just go around. Well, I guess that's a little bug. Speaking of little bugs, let's see then. Ah, okay. So, thanks to Anubis, we can start opening doors. Does anybody happen to remember the numbers? I think 12 was... well, I guess we can just do all of them. Meant to just open the doors. You should not be the one stopping you from doing this. Alright, well, it was just that one then. Alright, into the room party. The door opens. As Mentu walks in, he sees that this must have been where many members of the crew made their final fight for life. Many of the skeletons are huddled together as if trying to stay warm. Crewman is gripping a white key in his hand. Mentu tries to carefully dislodge it, but he lacks experience with skeletons. His sudden movement causes the skeleton to recoil and collapse, sending the key to the floor. Nothing but a collection of bones. He's gonna get a lot of skeleton experience now, though, so don't worry. Oh wow, that's consistency. Did they all get named? That would be even better. It wouldn't let me unlock 12. This sure isn't helpful. Or did it let me unlock 12? It won't let me unlock most of them. Okay, it did. Doctor's papers. Mentu shuffles through the papers and eventually finds a set of propositions written by Dr. Dundon for removing the threat of the creatures. The notes are sketchy and read as follows. 1. Must create a large source of energy to draw creatures in. Only way to do this is using tritactinum. By putting lots of tritactinum together in the mines, we might be able to create enough energy. The harmonic radiation would be more than the entire station, and the hungry creatures would return to the mines. Snare the night with sunlight. 2. Put detonators in the mines. Standard mining detonators should work, and who finds 2 such detonators on the doctor's desk. Can't just destroy mines, however. Must destroy station to make sure no creatures survive an escape vehicle. 3. To destroy station, must destroy the main power source via access chamber 4. Commander has the key somewhere in his room. Access transfer port, the logical equivalence thing, and cross the 3rd and 4th wires. That should set off a chain reaction in 4 to 5 minutes that will also set off the detonators in the mines. Make sure to turn off station power sources before escape vehicle launch to make absolutely sure that all of the creatures go to the radiation source. Mentu now knows what to do. When you only got 24 hours, the detonators are going to be on the doctor's desk. Okay, yeah, let's go into the mines. Let's try the top one. Maybe there'll be torches. Mentu gathers all the courage he has and descends into the mines. Luckily, he finds a few leftover hyper torches lying by the passageway. Thank goodness. Alright, enjoy going into the dark, scary monster mines. They're hyper torches because they extinguish after about a minute, and then they're broken forever, and you have to buy new ones from the hyper torch store. Mentu places the tritactinum block in the cavern. This cavern can still hold 4 more blocks. So get ready for this part of the game. I, for one, am going to make our hyper torches last. Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of blocks right here. 2 more blocks. Oh, I actually found the passage. And do it blind. We'll never see the nice stick gradient. Mentu places a tritactinum block in the cavern. This cavern can hold no more blocks. Mentu then places the detonator in the cavern. Mentu can feel the heat building up in the cavern. After a few moments, he can see faintly purple, insect-like creatures running towards the cavern like ants toward honey. They make a very soft pattering sound as they move by, a sound that is almost musical. Still, Mentu wants to leave as soon as he can. Excuse me. Alright, we get a couple extra hyper torches, thank goodness. To do it all again. Well, I took the long way. 6 more blocks, oh my goodness. That's a lot of blocks. Three more blocks. So many blocks. Yeah, it'll cap you off. One more block. I mean, you can only see a couple of them to begin with. Final block. Mentu places the tritaculum block in the cavern. This cavern can hold no more blocks. And then places the detonator in the cavern. Suddenly, Mentu feels a buildup of heat. Out of nowhere, you can see thousands, no, millions of little purple insects crawling down the walls and across the floor, almost like they could burrow right through rock. They make very little noise. Mentu wants to get out as soon as possible. Okay, so now what? That doctor's plan say? Large source of energy. Detonators and mines. Must destroy the main power source via access chamber 4. And it has the key in his room. Access transfer port and cross the 3rd and 4th wires. Still don't know whose room is what. I think we need to find the captain's body. There we go. Must be Commander London. That didn't help. What happens if we power down? Nothing good. Don't do that. Applications. Node summaries. Dangerous levels of harmonic radiation. That's a good thing for once. Am I supposed to know if one of these is the captain's room? Here's something. Mintu identifies this device as the transfer unit. He deftly opens the unit and tries to switch the 3rd and 4th wire. Unfortunately, the main power in the station was still on, oops, which sends a large amount of electricity through the 4th wire as Mentu picks it up. Sabor de alto voltaje, he mutters Mentu confusedly. Luckily, he survives. Mentu speaks Spanish. Never mind. Let us shut off all the power. Okay, wires crossed. Buzzing noise. Run. Mentu climbs into a ship, and just as he had hoped, the engine starts. As he lifts off from the planet, he can hear the explosion of the station below beginning. Head south to continue the story. Really nice explosion animation. You have solved the mysteries of the night. You win. Credits. President of the United States, Bill Clinton. And there's a whole lot of the many people who made this game possible. Plenty of shoutouts. Apologies for any scientific inaccuracies, the crappy unoriginal plot, the low-par graphics, which is very much a lie, entirely too melodramatic text, puzzles with obvious solutions, annoying credits screen. The end. So that's it. It is a pretty short game. There is one thing, though. We could be greedy. There's still a whole bunch of this stuff we can make some money. Grab a block. Oh yeah, it's a very good booth. And who loads in the extra block of tritactinum that he took from one of the nodes. There's no sense in going out of this without profit, he thinks. The ship takes off. He can hear the station below beginning to explode. Head south to continue the story. And now we make a little money. Aren't we lucky? Okay, so there actually is one other ending, which I missed out on. If we leave the transmitter on, Mentu climbs aboard his ship, though the engine sputters for a while. It eventually starts, and Mentu lifts off just in time to avoid the explosion of the station. However, once he gets into orbit around Athena 5, something happens. His engine stops suddenly, and his computer controls go dead. Eventually, he starts to itch all over, and you can see little purple insects crawling on his arms and legs and face, slowly eating him alive. At his last moments, he realizes his mistake. He forgot to shut down the auto transmitter on the communications console. That little bit of energy sustained the insects. One must have jumped on him from there as he was exiting the north part of the station, and then fed on his engine energy to reproduce. Not that this bit of logic will do anything to save him now. If you're crazy for credits, you'll have to edit the game. The ends. Bad ending. Eaten by space bugs. So that's Nightplanet. And it won its contest. The first winner of the first 24 Hours of ZZT competition. And it sets the bar pretty high, because, yes, this one's got plenty of text. When you only have 24 hours, this is actually pretty high-end, honestly. There's a fun story, there's things to do. I wish there weren't, like, 20 blocks to lug around and only, like, maybe 3 or 4, because that doesn't really add a whole lot doing it so many times. But it's trying its best to be spooky. Or if it had like some more messages as you were going up or down there, or not enough torches so you did eventually have to do it blind, I think that could make some more tension. But it's a fun little game. This game actually does have a sequel, and originally I was thinking if this went short that I would play it, but I have a bajillion things to do today. Don't actually have time to keep playing more ZZT today, unfortunately. But I think we will take a look at that sequel at some point. Maybe not next stream, but when we get a chance. Today is also the last day of the Oktoberfest Game Jam. And if you look at the museum's upload queue, there's a handful of games in there now. That's gonna take up a few streams, I'm sure. And I'm sure I'm gonna have plenty of regret in the near future as I do that. So have a happy Halloween, everybody. Try not to get eaten by tiny bugs. That will do it for now. We'll be back again next Friday with another stream poll game. See where the evening takes us. Thanks for watching. See ya.